Good afternoon. Welcome to Teleislas News. These are the most important news at this time. In compliance with the court ruling, the Environmental Corporation of the Archipelago Coralina informed the community that John Key Regional Park will be closed as of Thursday 29 until next Saturday, December 31st, 2022.
According to the ruling of Administrative Court, the John Key Regional Park will be closed for 3 days, ending the quarterly periods of the year in effect.
John Key having the last closing for this year. We are closing the park the 29, 30, and 31 of December with the objective to make all the maintenance from the bathroom system, the kitchen system from the restaurant, all the infrastructure from the buildings, and also to train the people from the Key with different themes that are important for them know and get up to date. We also make maintenance to the water system, the light system, everything that we have in the park so we can work.
Venezuelans call for the search for the missing persons to continue. The Venezuelan National Organization of Aquatic Rescue is calling for a joint effort after 10 days of not knowing about 21 Venezuelans and 2 Colombians who set sail from San Andres Island with final destination to Carn Island.
Venezuelan organizations have already communicated with the country's authorities requesting a joint effort to continue the search for 23 missing persons, among them 21 Venezuelans and 2 Colombians. According to the Venezuelan National Organization for Rescue and Maritime Safety of Aquatic Spaces, ONSA for its acronym in Spanish, these people disappeared after setting sail from San Andres on December 17, bound for Carn Island, Nicaragua. Relatives and activists request the authorities of the governments of Colombia, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to work to find them. The organization informed that the group of missing persons was on a fishing boat in which 2 Colombian nationals were also on board. A total of 23 persons are missing. It was also learned that there were several children on board. The 2 Colombians are 31 years old Guillermo Eduardo Díaz Figueroa and 38 years old Robinson Acosta Puello. Today marks 10 days since the disappearance of these people who, like many others, are seeking to reach Central America on their way to the American dream. However, it should be remembered that this is a dangerous journey and several people have disappeared on this same route.
The National Attorney General reiterated the call to the governors and mayors of territorial entities certified in education to comply with the PAE by 2023.
A few days before the end of the year, the Attorney General of the nation, Margarita Cabello Blanco, reiterated the call to the departmental governors to fully comply with the start of the school feeding program known as PAE for the year 2023, guaranteeing its timely and quality operation throughout the national territory from the first day and throughout the 2023 academic calendar. The Attorney General urged to start the operation of the school feeding program with all its components without delays and in compliance with the regulations, invoking Resolution number 019 of November 1st, 2022, in which the authorities were asked to ensure the availability of resources, verify the suitability of the contractors, and start the necessary contractual management before December 31st, safeguarding the principles of budgetary planning and the criteria of fiscal sustainability contained in the Colombian legal system. The regulations issued by the Public Ministry and sent to the territorial entities in advance also refer that the minimum standards and conditions for the provision of the service and the execution of the PAE must be maintained, guaranteeing that the children and adolescents receive the food rations they require in a timely and quality manner to ensure the access to and permanence in the school system. The control organ insisted that it would continue with the preventive surveillance of the PAE in order to anticipate the occurrence of events and avoid the delays and difficulties evidenced in 2022, in most cases related to the deficiencies and untimely allocation of resources allocated to the program, lack of planning in the execution of contracts, and improper targeting of students, insufficient infrastructure and equipment in the educational institutions where the service is provided, and lack of quality and safety of the food delivered. Finally, within the framework of the preventive actions and contractual matters deployed by the first delegate of preventive surveillance of the public function and the territorial delegates in 2022, 28 disciplinary processes were opened, reported for the late start of the operation, lack of quality of the food delivered, operational deficiencies, interruption in the provision of the service, and contracting processes without the fulfillment of legal requirements, among others.
Attention, the Carolina Environmental Corporation recalls to the insular community that the restriction on feeding and handling of marine wildfowl in the archipelago is still in force.
Carolina Corporation informed the community of the islands that to date remains in force Resolution number 611 of August 17, 2022, which prohibits the feeding and handling of marine wildlife, including fish, sharks, and rays, throughout the department archipelago. The corporation specifies that any type of tourist activity involving the feeding or fattening and handling of fish, rays, and sharks is prohibited. Artisanal fishermen, once they have finished fishing, must clean their products at a distance away from the coast. This is in order not to attract sharks or any other species that may represent a potential threat to bathers. The environmental malpractice of disposing of dead animals on the seashore or in the coastal areas of the island is prohibited. Non-compliance with the provisions will result in the establishment of an environmental sanctioning procedure by Carolina.
More islanders continue to obtain their digital ID cards. The National Registry of Civil Status reported on the total number of digital documents that have been processed in the archipelago.
The National Registrar's Office, through a press release, informed about the implementation of a technological strengthening plan so that Colombians can access in an agile and safe way the identification services provided by the entity. It is about the installation of new integrated service stations in the Registrar's offices that still do not have this technology. 2 of these stations have been installed in the islands, one in San Andres and another in the island of Old Providence, which has generated that about 300 digital ID cards have been processed in the archipelago so far this year, 2022. Thanks to this digital ID card massification plan, which began on September, nearly 1 million Colombians have processed this identity document. The Registrar's Office emphasizes that the processing of the digital ID card is not mandatory and that those who want to obtain the digital document can do the process voluntarily and go to the Registrar's Office closest to their home without the need to make any appointment.
The Secretariat of Mobility carries out an awareness campaign in order to prevent road accidents and avoid an increase in number of fatalities. Therefore, officials of the Secretariat remind drivers of the importance of using protective helmets.
The Secretariat of Mobility called on all road actors and their companions of motorcycles, bikes, motorcycles, and ATVs to use properly and correctly the protective helmet when traveling on the different roads of the department in these special Christmas dates.
La importancia del uso del casco.
The importance of helmet use is clearly that when accidents occur, the most exposed part of our body is our skull. Therefore, the proper use of the helmet is an effective measure to prevent fatalities and mitigate the severity of injuries in drivers or passengers of motorcycles. In fact, there is a resolution, the 2385 of 2020 of the Ministry of Transportation, which establishes minimum conditions for the use of helmets for drivers and passengers. The Secretariat of Mobility is conducting educational and awareness campaigns to all road actors in the department headed by the National Road Agency and the Ministry of Transportation through the Educational Group, which is a group of specialists and professionals attached to the Secretariat of Mobility who conduct awareness campaigns focused on traffic rules and the proper use of road safety elements for drivers in order to avoid road accidents.
The campaigns are conducted in order to prevent road accidents, especially during this time of the year when accidents tend to increase due to the alcohol consumption at Christmas celebrations. Remember that if you are going to drink alcohol, hand over the keys and do not become a sad news for your relative.
Claro Empresas llegó a San Andrés con internet ultraveloz para que vuele tu negocio. Adquiere todo Claro Empresas con internet fijo desde 160 megas, más planes móviles y recibe con tu internet fijo página web sin costo adicional, hasta 310 megas y más gigas en tu plan móvil. Adquiéralo ya, comunícate al numeral 400. And with the participation of local artists and international artists, Barak, the government of the Archipelago Department, will perform the Great Christian Concert tonight. Enjoy this event live and direct through our regional channel Teleislas, starting at 7 p.m. tonight. At this time, we continue with sport news with Victor Fusalva.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island. The 3-on-3 basketball tournament modality has been gaining strength in the Insular Department. As a part of the Caribbean Fest, a 3-on-3 basketball tournament was also held where women were the protagonists and enjoyed this basketball activity that pleased the participants and the fans who were present.
This experience is very nice and well, I never yet feel so glad yet to participate in this tournament and come champ. And well, why we tell others people say, well, for me, everybody follow what they like, their dream, and if you don't like basketball, you put it in practice because with this, we can get plenty weapons. Basketball, a sport of cultural tradition, shows its importance in this new facet of 3-on-3. Islander baseball player Jeter Downs is claimed by the Washington Nationals. Jeter Downs was cut from the Boston Red Sox following the arrival of Japanese player Masataka Yoshida, a two-time Japanese Baseball League champion. The Islander was designated for assignment as a part of off-season moves. Downs has been one of the key players to receive by the Red Sox in the Mookie Betts trade, along with outfielder Alex Verdugo and catcher Connor Wong. Jeter Downs became the 44th Major League prospect in 2020, but his development was not enough for the Red Sox. The Islander player is claimed by the Washington Nationals, where he will have a new opportunity to demonstrate his quality as a player in this franchise that is reconstruction and could have more opportunities in the major leagues. Downs' appearance in the MLB includes 14 games in which he took 39 turns at bat with 1 home run, 6 hits, and 4 runs batted. On the defensive side, he played different positions in the infield as a second base in 8 games, as shortstop in 6, and as shortstop 3 times. In this upcoming season, spring training, Downs will be looking for starting a role where he will compete against other Latins such as Lidemaro Vargas, Jamer Candelario, and Luis Garcia, who will be his direct competition. And this will be all in sports for the moment. I am Victor Fusalva, Teleislas News.